Hello everyone. Today was like opposite day apparently with me going to garage sales. Normally I find most of my stuff at the garage sales that didn't post on Craigslist or on some other website. Today it was the other way around. Most of the time if someone posts that they have a bunch of video game stuff on Craigslist, everyone's going to go there. So you got to be there either early or right on time if they say no early birds. So I took a chance and I drove about 20-25 minutes away because there were two Craigslist postings in the same area that both said, hey, we have video games and systems or whatever. And I figured, two's better than one. I'll drive 25 minutes to at least, maybe score at one of those two. And I got lucky, and both of them had game stuff, and they hadn't already sold it. The first sale had everything still. The second sale, unfortunately, they had already sold a couple items, but I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, for the rest of the day, basically I didn't find shit. I came back to my side of town, went to maybe about 10 to 15 sales, and everything had either already been sold, or with stuff like a Dance Dance Revolution, or a couple really crappy games for like the Game Boy or whatever. So the first sale I went to, I picked up for 25 bucks. Actually, both sales I went to, both purchases I made from them were $25 a piece. So I spent exactly $50 today. First sale, I got a Genesis in pretty damn nice shape. I mean, it's definitely dusty, but nothing majorly wrong with it. And that came with its power and RF and one controller and then a stack of games. Most of the games, sadly, are not that interesting at all, but there is two that I'm actually keeping for myself, and this is not one of them. Jeopardy Sports Edition, PGA Tour Golf 2. It sucks that some of these aren't better, like games, because they're in really nice condition, and almost all of them are complete. Alex Kidd, Miss Pac-Man. I mean, it looks like these things have been stowed away for years and haven't been touched. Lion King. Joe Montana 2 Sports Talk Football. Jesus. Sonic the Hedgehog. And then here's the two I'm keeping. SWAT, City Under Siege. I probably pronounced that wrong. But this is, like I said, this is one of the complete ones, so I decided to keep it. My Genesis collection isn't gigantic, so really anything I kind of find that I'm interested in that I don't own, I'm going to hang on to. It's only like, I think a complete copy is around the $10 to $15 mark for a complete one. And then the one that I was most happy to see was a complete copy of Ghouls and Ghosts. I love the Ghouls and Ghosts games. I do not have a copy of the Genesis version, and surprisingly, the Genesis version was the very first one that I ever played, and I want to say it was actually the first Genesis title that I might have ever played at my uncle's house. Not at a creepy uncle's house, but yeah, so that was kind of cool. So I'm going to go ahead and hang on to that. And then at that same sale, I was looking at the Genesis stuff first, and I said, do you have any other game stuff? And he's like, yeah, I have like a Game Boy and some games. So he pulls out two little cases. This is the first case. Little official Nintendo clear see-through case. And this has a bunch of manuals in it for some of the games. And the games that are in here are all not amazing. Space Invaders. We got Centipede and Millipede. Copy of Kirby Pinball Land. A empty case. Tetris 2. And then he showed me the second case, which I didn't even notice as a Nintendo case at first because it was lying down this way. And I didn't see the handle on it, but then obviously if you turn it around right there, it says Nintendo Game Boy. And in here was sort of a surprise. First, I noticed that it was a black Game Boy, which I've only found one other black Game Boy at a garage sale. And it is in fabulous shape, absolutely perfect. There's nothing wrong with the screen, no scratches or anything. I tested it out. It plays fine. The screen is 100% perfect. So that was pretty cool. And then in the case, the other games that he had, there's a copy of Tetris, another copy of Tetris. I always seem to find two Tetrises together. Golf, Alleyway, fucking some football, play action football, some bases loaded, and Chase HQ, and then the one solid game out of all of them, a copy of Mega Man 3. And then there's also a newbie Game Light in there, which I have not tested to see if that works yet. But the case, look how clean this case is. Like, awesome. Like, almost new-like inside. All the foam's all nice. And I know that's, oh, wow, a clean case. But to find, like, an actual original Game Boy case not destroyed or have bugs living in it was pretty surprising. So all of that you just saw, $25. And I don't collect versions of handhelds or anything like that, like different colors. But I almost am considering hanging on to the black Game Boy because it is in such nice shape and it's pretty damn snazzy. So that is all for that first sale. Let me get this shit down here. And then the second sale that had posted on Craigslist. I got there, the guy said someone already came by and had already purchased some things, but I did still see, like, off in the corner, like, a GameCube and some other stuff, and they said that they purchased a Sega Saturn, and then he said, some games. I have no idea if they were Saturn games, I have no idea what they were, he didn't even know. He said all this was his kid's stuff, but they still had some stuff. I already have a Saturn for sale at the flea market, and no one gives a shit. So I wasn't too disappointed in not getting the system, and obviously I have one for my collection. But I would have been interested to know what the games were. So what I did pick up is a really shitty condition N64, and the only reason why I grabbed this is because it had an expansion pack inside, and there was a yellow controller with a pretty loose joystick on there, and the power pack for it. No audio video cables for that. And then, oh shit, I'm sorry. Hold on, we got to go back to the other sale real quick. One last item that came with that Genesis was a Genesis arcade power stick in really nice shape as well. So that's kind of cool. I mean, Genesis stuff isn't very common for me to find at garage sales. So this was a neat little extra, basically, to get with it. And I might hold on to that too, because I do not have one of those arcade sticks for the Genesis. Okay, so now back to the other sale. So I got the N64 expansion pack controller, blah, blah, blah. And then he had an extra power pack. No other system for it, though. And I grabbed these just because they're component cables. It's for original Xbox, PS2, or GameCube. And then, what else? Oh, actually, I take that back. It's not for GameCube, for the Wii. It has the Wii one on it. And then I also grabbed a GameCube controller right there. Platinum one. Apparently I got a text message. And then, so I saw all that shit, and I was talking to the guy, and he's like, well, how about $20? And I was like, I don't know. The system's in pretty rough shape. The reset button doesn't go down, or come up, go down, whatever on it. I only bought it for the expansion pack, basically. So, I kind of put that away, but I asked the woman that was there with him if she had any, like, handheld stuff, because he said, well, this is all I have, but see if she has anything, because it was her house. And she says, well, I have a DS, and I have some games for it. So she comes out with a black DS Lite, and in the DS was a copy of New Super Mario Bros. With the charger. She actually had the paperwork for it, and there was a screen protector on it, which I peeled off because it was coming off and had dirt underneath it. But overall, that's in pretty good shape. And then the stack of games she had, let's start with the crappier ones, Uno Skip It and Uno Skip-O and Uno Freefall. Brain Age, Mario Kart, Mario Hoops 3-on-3, Yoshi's Island DS, and Tokyo Beatdown. So very odd stack of titles right there. basically, she had already told me, like, when we were talking, $10 for the DS stuff. And I was like, oh, well, hell yeah, that's a great price. And I wasn't going to get the N64 and that other random crap, but we ended up basically working it out where $25 for everything together, it was going to be the deal. So both sales, like I said, $25 a piece at each sale. That was all I got today. I was sort of bummed that, you know, those were the first two places I went in the morning, and then for like the next 2 hours I didn't find anything. So I'm glad. I went with my instinct and was like, I'll go ahead and go check out those sales, because I would have come home with absolutely zero. So as always, let me know in the comments section down below, what did you guys find today, or did you go to the flea market or whatever? And thumbs up the video, pretty please. And I'm going to go to a convention over in Tampa. A friend invited me. It's the Tampa Comic Con, I believe. So that should be fun, and I will talk to you all later. Peace!